Hello. Do we need to redo that?
The evolution of the mail-in intro is just really something.
I feel like y'all were just vibing too
I
hard.
was. I mean, it started out as the old like 80s porn music is what people called it. It's actually a wrestling intro.
Uh-huh.
Then the AOL chat, what do you call it?
AIM. There it is.
Yeah, that little guy.
Okay.
And now it's just a sick guitar riff.
It sounds like a Keith Richards.
No, it does not.
A music guy.
Okay. Welcome to the mail-in.
That no podcast has ever started quicker out of the gates than we just did.
Yeah, people are like, okay, get to the damn show. Thanks for having us, Sally.
I mean, let me do an intro for one time, Dillon. I know you're trying to get introduced first. So
no, I think you start with Dave. It would feel weird to be introed first.
Welcome to the mail-in. I'm Sally. I'm hosting this week. We've got Dillon and Dave.
Hello, everybody.
Joining us
at home. I'm waving
today.
Not only am I going to be providing content, but I'm running the board.
You're running the board.
If you like the sound effects or if you don't like them, it's all on me. Not Sally, not Dillon, not Randy.
I think that we do have to take a moment to give a special shout out to Brett, who cannot be here. We're sending all of our thoughts, prayers, love his way. He's up at home with his fam, spending time with his fam after the passing of his dad. So we miss you, Brett. We love you.
Dillon and I are drinking a couple Celsius for you.
I've got a coffee. I was going to suggest actually that we have a beer on the pod, but like it's mid-Wednesday.
We do have some in the fridge.
If we were like recording this at 6 p.m., I'd be into it, but I got to go home and take care of Fritz after this.
I got a lift today.
Yeah, it's...
You know, I can't miss Shoulder Wednesday.
I went mega hard on legs yesterday, Dave. I'm talking Jello down here.
Nobody's talking about that. Your husband, Will, famously Will DeFreeze, insulted my shoulders on the previous podcast, the Circling Back podcast today.
I must have missed this. What did he say?
Hey, there's a rowback model who I thought might be me, and he's like, no, damn, that guy's shoulders are way bigger than yours.
So is Wednesday normally your shoulder day, or you made it your shoulder day after Will insulted you?
It's a new thing.
Okay.
About an hour old.
Okay.
Are you going to acknowledge that I went really hard on legs yesterday?
That's awesome, dude.
I did weighted lunges and then deadies. No one's doing that back to back.
That's fairly common.
You don't see that.
You know what I did? I did a YouTube arm routine for 10 minutes. All my muscles right here are just killing me.
A YouTube arm routine.
You literally just do this with your arms for like 10 minutes, like a bunch of up and down movements. You can't drop your arm the whole time. No weights.
Were you holding a shake weight?
I do have ankle/wrist weights from, I think the company's pronounced Bala, B-A-L-A.
Bala.
They're like,
Bala.
They're like, you know, hot girl ankle weights that look like jewelry.
It's hot girl summer.
But honestly, it hurts so bad you can't even use weights. Like I started with weights, I had to take them off because
what is it again?
You're just like pulsing, and then you're doing circles, and then you're like, and you just don't drop your arms the whole time.
Everyone's aunt at a wedding reception.
Yeah,
like
but for 10 minutes
when like
straight.
Pharrell comes on,
looks like you're at like a Chainsmokers concert. You're like,
no, but you're not doing this. You're just doing controlled pulses, and you have to like create
traffic.
They used to call me controlled pulse.
You're stopping traffic over and over again.
Okay. We've derailed.
Good start. Your fault, not mine.
I just want to see what Sally's getting into. That's all.
Some of you who might have been listening for the first time ever are wondering, what is the Mail-In Podcast? We do our best to answer your questions, talk about our workout routines, derail anything we have going on, get a laugh in, maybe walk away with something useful.
It's just some real life shit we talk about, you know? Just the real stuff, Dave.
But I'd be remiss to not say before we begin, how can you help us out? You got to send a clip or a segment to a friend, maybe of our arm workout in a second that hopefully Randy will cut for us. Subscribe on iTunes and Spotify. Give us a rate and a review, maybe a five-star rating. But most importantly, hit the hotline with your questions at 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast.
Boom.
We have 6 questions today.
Sace.
So we got to be tactical in our answers. Okay.
I'm ready to.
And I only could choose one voicemail because only one of them really got to the point. A couple of them just got cut off mid voicemail.
Sometimes them's the breaks,
One person left a voicemail and their dog barked really loud, and then he just hung up the phone.
He panicked.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can't answer that question. You didn't even say a question.
He panicked and hung up.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Are y'all ready to get into it?
I've never been more ready.
You're both raw dogging, right?
Oh yeah, I've
correct.
Not read a single question so far. That's a dirty term.
This is the most real answers you're gonna get, like right off the cuff.
My shower thought is about how raw dogging is just a gross term.
It's disgusting, but we'll get to that. Okay, first question. Hey, Malin, I'm a huge fan. I've been listening to every Wash podcast since the Touching Base days. Shouts. Anyways, I gave up drinking about a year ago and in the market for romance. I realize y'all might not have a ton of experience in this subject matter, but I'd love your opinions. I'm a decent-looking 29-year-old guy and pretty successful professionally. My big problem is I quit drinking and now I can't seem to meet new women. I've never had a problem with getting attention from the fair sex, but now that I don't drink, I seem to have the yips with meeting new girls or going on dates. My move was always asking a girl out for drinks and see where it led from there. Do y'all have any advice for dating if the guy is sober and better for it? Thoughts on dating sober?
This is a new one.
So the approach this emailer was taking was like, how do I meet people? I thought it was going to be along the lines of women don't want to date me because of my lifestyle. I don't drink.
Right.
Which, full honesty here, full disclosure, would be an issue for me. Not because that you've chosen not to drink. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But like our lifestyles would be like, I like to go out I like to go to dinners and I like to.
You went to Tiny Boxwood last night.
I went to Tiny Boxwood last night. I like to have a beer or have a glass of wine at home. And if you're not like there with me doing that, it's gonna be a little different for me. So for that reason, like I'm more into someone who drinks because I drink. You know?
Okay. So you're just
it's a lifestyle.
Meet
thing.
somebody at AA or like what?
No. I don't need to date an alcoholic, but someone whose lifestyle aligns with mine.
I meant as a sober person.
Yeah, not like you're
not you go trolling for alcoholics.
Yeah. Okay, you're talking on
looking for marks
from the emailer's perspective.
Yes, from the emailer's perspective.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
You can date someone who drinks if you're. I mean, I don't think this dude cares, but he has to be like very upfront about the fact that he doesn't and put the decision on them. Like, just so you know, if you date me, I'm not going to be getting drunk with you.
So I included this question because I have a lot of friends who have like gone sober in the past few years, not even because of like alcoholism, but just because of like lifestyle choice, whatever. I personally am a sober, curious person. Like, I think I'm trying to not drink until we go to Italy in a month. That's my goal, is no alcohol for a month. My sister famously went sober for about 100 days and wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. If
I heard.
Ever talked to her about it.
Which sister is this?
Emily, on her fitness
Did
journey.
she?
Yeah.
Good for her.
And there have been periods in my life where I've been sober for a while. And I feel like mostly just the health benefit, anxiety, etc. And when I first did Whole30, because you can't drink during that, I was still dating. This was pre-Will. And it was always like a kind of interesting conversation of, was I going to disclose that I was not drinking out of choice or make up some lie as to why I wasn't drinking, like I was on antibiotics or some bullshit, which whatever. And at the time, I was probably like 25 or 26 and like kind of insecure about it, even though I was doing something for my health. Now that I'm older, I feel like I could give a fuck about what people think, and personally will have no problem telling someone like, I'm not drinking. That's where I'm at right now. I don't know if I owe them any explanation or anything. A girl that I follow who actually started the Whole30 says something that I really appreciate. It's just like, I'm not drinking right now. That's all you say to somebody. That's all you have to say to somebody. And somebody who presses you on it really like, maybe they have their own issues. But I can see how that would be. Obviously, like, alcohol is a social lubricant for everyone. It makes things easier. And exactly what this guy said, it's like way easier to ask somebody for drinks than to go on a full-on dinner date where you have to explain that you're sober, etc.
Yeah.
So that takes that whole thing out of the equation. Are there any other, like, I would say asking people to coffee is like a.
Isn't there, and it's been a minute since I've been on the dating apps, Dave. It's been a minute.
You don't have to tell me.
But I think Hinge will, like, you can, like, put on there, like, drink or don't drink. I think there's an option for that.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because I mean, be upfront about it. And also, like, I don't know. Does he want to target people, like women who don't?
No, I
drink
think that he
too,
just
or-
wants to
He's just trying
date
to
in
figure
general.
out.
And I think that our society is a lot more open to people being sober, like now, than we were probably years ago, because some people who are really health conscious or doing it because they have a problem or whatever have, like, it's become less taboo to not be drinking, I feel like.
You know, in my 20s when I was dating, I would always tell them, "Hey, I'm a lot easier to date if you've had a couple. Easier on the eyes, because I'm not a handsome guy."
I think you're pretty handsome.
That's how I would say it.
I think you're a hot dude,
and
man.
it worked. I got married.
Yeah.
That's what you told Alyssa?
That's what I told her.
You just got her drunk every time?
You can still take someone out to dinner.
Can you not say, let's get drinks, and you just go and, like, you have
club soda?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
or is
honestly,
is that sketchy because you're not drinking and she is, and that like wait,
no,
why
I
aren't you
mean, I
drinking?
think
if you're upfront about it,
I think you be upfront about it. I think drinks is always easy. Drinks or coffee is easy because there's no commitment for a meal and, like, a long amount of time. So that's an easy, like, 45-minute, see someone, meet them, and not have to, like, have a full committed date.
Man, I used to get so nervous for first dates, and I would be nervous until I was like 2 drinks in. I can't imagine doing a whole first date sober. I would just be a wreck the whole time.
I think, though, that, like, you
I'm
just
a
learn
P-word,
other
Dave.
coping mechanisms.
Women terrify me.
You know?
Terrifying.
When you're sober.
What if they don't like me?
Are you talking to me?
I guess I get nervous on first dates.
There's
man.
nothing wrong with that.
I know.
Well, okay, so I feel like my advice to this guy is that, one, like you said, Dillon, like, be upfront about it. Obviously, you have your reasons for being sober. You don't have to fully go into those if you don't feel like it on a first date. But I think that people deserve to know, especially if you're, like, drinking a club soda online. But then also, like, do what you would normally do for dates. Like, and obviously he said he has the yips, but, like, you kind of just think as you get older, you just stop giving a fuck about what other people think, or at least I have. Like, if someone turns me down because I asked them out and, like, they don't like that I'm sober, or they don't even know that, they just turn me down, I'm like, what's at loss here besides a little bit of my pride?
That just means that person's not for you.
Right.
That's all it means. Okay, no big deal.
I'm wondering if he's having problems meeting new women because he doesn't like going to bars.
I mean, that,
like, at all. Like, because it's, tough for him to go and remain sober. So
yeah, but how many couples start out because they met at a bar? It's like maybe there's a hookup situation, sure, but are bars, like, really, like, you go there looking for someone to date situation? I really don't know.
It starts. I mean, often, I don't know. It usually starts like a hookup, but then
Yeah,
where
sure.
that can lead. It can lead
No.
to, not you, just in general.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody meets their sigurd on Twitter. Sally, she did famously.
She did, yeah.
I mean, I think many sober people, though, would tell you that they're very okay being in situations with other people who are drinking, even people who are addicts. Like, friends that I have who are in AA, like, almost would be like, I would rather my friends act normally around me than feel like that they can't drink around me, because that's going to make me feel awkward, like I can't be in social situations. Like,
Yeah.
most people I know who've, like, completed the program are just putting themselves out there in everyday situations that they normally would. I mean, obviously, like, hitting up like a sketchy bar and
and
by yourself is.
If you're a non-drinker, you're by far in the minority there.
Yeah.
So you need to be prepared to be around people who are drinking and just be okay with it. That just comes along with the territory, I think.
All right, y'all.
Hopefully we gave this dude decent.
Yeah. Hey, man. Good for you making the change. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Maybe I can interest you in, I don't know, 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole-sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. I'm talking, of course, about Athletic Greens, folks.
Ooh, we love our Athletic Greens.
Start my day off. You do too, Sally and Dillon.
This
I had my
morning,
Athletic Greens this morning.
I got up, took Stella on a 2-miler, got home, I took my Athletic Greens, Dave. Great way to start a day.
Can I give y'all a tip about the Athletic Greens?
Please.
I personally don't think I think the taste is good.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that people get worried about that. I think best thing, most refreshing, especially in the heat of the summer, make it the night before. Like shake that shit up the night before, put it in the fridge, a nice little refreshing green juice in the morning.
Ooh, saves you a little time.
It saves you a little time. I grab it right out of the fridge, go to work.
I like my green juice to taste healthy, is how I describe it. Like,
yeah.
Kind of like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice flavor for health,
Uh-huh.
but this is like a perfect combination of it tasting healthy, having a little bit of like flavor to it. It's
healthy, doesn't have to taste like grass clippings, and it does not.
Mm-hmm.
Athletic Greens is phenomenal. It's like the perfect amount of sweetness. It's very palatable. It's a palate play, Dillon.
It is.
We're talking better gut health, more energy, optimized immune system, all that, man. I'm somebody, I don't like taking a ton of pills. I really don't like taking vitamins because those are thick pills. So I love starting my day off with it, okay?
Less than a gram of sugar.
That's crazy.
No GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything at all.
Costs you less than $3 a day, too. That's pretty wild.
You know what else I've been really digging? Like I have the thing that I take the scoops out, but I also have just the packets. Have in my work bag just in case I forget it, so I can like throw that into a water.
There it is.
The packets, they tear perfectly.
I know.
Like a lot of packets we get, you know, it's all jacked up. I did it this morning for the first time. I got into the packets.
It's a clean tear.
Just a clean tear. I was very impressed by the tearing. Very cool. But there's other reasons
Dave's
they like
only
it.
feedback is the packet's clean too.
That's an ad lib. That's not on the copy. Look. In 2020, Athletic Greens purchased carbon credits that support projects protecting old growth rainforests. How about that? So you're supporting a good cause. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and Dillon, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/mailin. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/mailin to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Y'all ready for the next one?
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to be a polarizing question.
There's an emoji
is
in this one.
Saucy?
It's not really saucy, but hello, hand wave emoji. My girlfriend always asks me to pick her up and drop her off at the airport. She said it's because she wants to spend time with me before and after she leaves, but it's really an inconvenience. Would I be an asshole to suggest Ubering? It's not very far and wouldn't cost an insanely high amount. Thanks.
This is phenomenal.
Okay, I think I'm going to just guess.
You think that's what it is?
You are going to say no. She should be Ubering. Is that what you're going to say?
As an airport picker upper and dropper offer, it would be hypocritical for me to say that.
Yeah.
But I want to know how far they are from the airport.
There's a lot of things that I feel like there's a lot of variables that I need to know about.
Yeah.
One, how far are you? Because I think in general, depending on the time of day, well, that's another variable. What time of day are we talking about? Okay. Is it like an easy situation? Or are you going to like get stuck in an insane amount of traffic? Or is it also really annoying? Because like her flight's at like 5:30 in the morning. Like I'm not dropping you off at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. That of course will change things too.
But then also like how often are we talking about? And I think that this all changes. Like, okay, is she going away for a bachelorette party? And like you could drop her off or pick her up and like earn some brownie points, you know? Is she leaving for a 10-day trip and like that's the last time you're going to see her?
Yeah.
But like,
is it a work trip?
If it's a work trip, like, and she's leaving at 5:30 in the morning to like fly from Austin to Dallas, like, do you need to do that?
I also would like to know how long they've been together. Has it been 6 months? Because to start off, you got to get those brownie points.
I feel like you do it more often at the beginning.
If you're 5 years
facts.
in, and it's like babe, just take an Uber. Like, come
Yeah.
on, the ball game's on. Like,
don't think Alyssa or I have ever or have dropped or picked up the other from the airport since we've been married.
really?
Really?
I mean, but we've done it. We did it in the past. I mean, we just haven't done it forever, especially now with the kid.
Well,
with
with
the
kid,
baby,
it
it's
changes
like,
things.
gotta load
Because
'em
somebody's
up.
going to stay home with the kid, and you're not going
Yeah.
to bring the kid with you to the airport. That's a pain in the ass. I mean,
Yeah.
you can if like that's your only option. And here's where I feel like my rule is for Will. If it's convenient, which I feel like Austin Airport's not horrible to get to. It's maybe 20 minutes
Right.
when you're not in the middle of traffic. Okay. If, like, I've dropped him off or picked him up when he's been on a golf trip or something and he's got all of his golf clubs and shit. Like, that's kind of annoying to like load into an Uber and all the crap.
Also, the Uber departure zone from the Austin airport
Is a pain in the ass.
It used to be very simple. It used to be they'd pick you up right outside the baggage area. Not anymore. Now you have to walk like a third of a mile and go up some steps with your baggage to get to the Uber pickup zone. It's pretty inconvenient now.
Yeah.
So that's also a play. I don't know what it's like at other airports. Probably
Right.
somewhat similar, I would say.
So, okay. Also, here's my other thoughts. If you live in LA and you're having to drop her off at LAX, that's a hard no for me. Okay. That's so far away. It's a clusterfuck. Like, there's a lot going on. But if you live in, like, say, we just flew into and out of Traverse City, which is like it's got like 4 or 6 gates. You can literally park for the whole time if you wanted to at the curb, and like no police is going to come like scream at you like they do in Austin. That, and you like don't live that far away, you got to drop her off at the airport. Okay, that's not that difficult.
If you're in Dallas, Love Field, flying in and out of, perfect.
Easy.
Just,
DFW, hard now.
DFW beating. A lot of it's airport location specific, but yeah, I don't think it's weird. I don't know. You also don't want them spending like $100 each way to get to the airport.
What we're saying, it's a case by case.
It's definitely a case by case.
But it's not weird to Uber to the airport and not have your sig drop.
You don't need to be.
It's not weird.
Taking them to the airport every time or picking them up every time.
The quality time thing, like what you guys gonna do shower thoughts on the way to the airport or something?
You don't need that 15 minutes.
My one caveat to this is, what if they're in a long distance relationship? If they're in a long distance relationship,
you have to.
You got to do it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in the middle of your workday. You can't be like interrupting your workday to go take her to the airport. But like, if you're in a long distance relationship, you're taking her to the airport and picking her up.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
That's because that is the last time you're seeing each other.
Weigh all factors here. A lot depends on our answers.
But she should understand you being like, can you take an Uber?
Like, just Uber. It'll be $17, and I get to stay home. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it can be an ass whooping though.
Yeah.
I think we got a voicemail next.
We do have a voicemail.
Ooh, that's
Producer
exciting.
Randy, hit us with it.
Hi, Meal and Crew. I'm calling because my boyfriend's best friend just ended his engagement. And this is something that we all thought was going to happen or that should happen because him and his fiance had very fundamental differences on what they wanted out of life and how they wanted to spend their lives. And it was kind of a long time coming, so it's technically a good thing for the both of them. But my question is, how can I be there for his now ex-fiance? I met her because my boyfriend is best friends with this guy, but we don't just hang out the four of us. Like, I've gone off and done stuff with her myself. We have another little separate friend group. Like, I've become very good friends with her. But in terms of, like, winning the breakup, the person I'm going to see more is my boyfriend's best friend. So it would be easy for our relationship to end, or it could be hard for her to maintain our relationship given that knowledge. But it's my first time in this situation, hopefully my last. I'm wondering, do I text her, call her? I don't know if she knows that I know. I'm probably one of the first people to, just because my boyfriend was the first person that her now ex-fiance told. So just guidance here is appreciated. Thank you.
Good question.
It's tough.
Has this ever happened to either of y'all? Have y'all been friends with a couple that's broken up and you remained friends with the person that you met through your friend? You get what I'm saying? Like, say you're friends with the guy This exact situation's actually happened to me. Well, we're friends with the guy.
Never
He
happened to me.
brings a girl around. They're dating. They break up.
Right.
But we liked her so much. We're still pretty good friends with her.
Yeah, and I think
like,
all parties
low-key,
involved,
like maybe a little bit more friends, or at least in my case.
And hopefully at our age, like it's everybody realizes like that's probably going to happen if they break up, like, and it's not going to be weird. But you know, if you're in your 20s or something, it can be a little more contentious, depending on how the breakup goes down. But no, I mean we've, you know, Alyssa and I have been friends with couples, and those, you know, couples have been divorced or split, and she still maintains a relationship, and I have one from a distance with that person, and
Yeah,
I don't think, and no, there's no hard feelings. It's like,
right.
But what eventually always happens is that person, you know, they find, you know, in this scenario, like the girlfriend, the ex-fiance, she'll find a new friend group, and like
Right.
they'll still keep in touch, but they will just naturally drift apart. So it'll happen organically.
yeah. I think it really only becomes problematic is in like social gatherings when both would be invited. You know,
Right.
do you invite both of them? If you only invite one, who gets the call?
I think your loyalties here, it sounds like she's already laid this out, like are with her boyfriend's best friend. But because she has a relationship with the ex-fiance, I think it's completely appropriate to reach out to the ex-fiance. I would maybe, depending on the circumstances, like if y'all were really close, I would maybe like reach out to the boyfriend's best friend, just be like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to Sarah. Like, just check on her. Like, whatever. Maybe he deserves a explanation. Like the friends that we're talking about, that's happened to me and Will, like she knows and he knows that like we're such good, they dated for so long. She's part of our lives. Like I'm going to continue having a relationship with her regardless. And that's how our whole friend group has gone about it basically. And I don't think that it bothers him. But if your boyfriend's best friend's going to get annoyed by it, like maybe give him a heads up. Like she was part of our lives. Y'all were engaged. I'm going to continue hanging out with her. But I think it's also fine to reach out to her, even if you're the only person who knows that they broke off the engagement. Because clearly, you know, like you said, the boyfriend's best friend with the guy. So like, it's okay to reach out and be like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Heard you and Tom broke up.
I don't
want to get a drink.
I can't think of anyone like this in my life.
This has actually happened in two specific couples that I'm thinking of for us. No one who we hang out with regularly.
I mean, I've been the couple that breaks up. I mean,
Yeah.
I've I got divorced, and but she was never like that close. My ex was never like that close with my friends' significant others when we were together, now that I think about it. So it wasn't really that big of a deal.
If Will and I broke up, like, I don't think that y'all would keep hanging out with me. Like, no offense. But I think
hanging out, probably,
like,
I mean,
maybe,
probably not. But like, if I saw you out, like, Sally, what's up?
Yeah, but you're
You
probably
know?
not reaching out to me.
That's how Dillon greets people. when he
Sally,
sees
what's
them.
up? That's how I say hi to everybody.
Yeah, he's excited.
That's his.
I'm still gonna like your IGs, your posts.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
In case you were wondering.
Yeah, I don't keep up with Ross's ex-wife. Is that okay to say? That's okay to say.
Yeah.
I don't. We were never tight though. You know, you and I are much closer than she and I ever were.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't like, you know.
I would argue actually that I am closer with Rox's ex-wife than Ross, so I kept with her.
There you go. Fair enough.
But I actually knew her prior to their relationship.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I knew
that.
I knew Dillon's ex-wife before I knew Dillon. Fun fact. Shout out Sanctuary Lofts.
Dave's little sanctuary girl.
That's not what she was. It's definitely not.
Yeah, that's right.
Good people though.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this is fine.
Yeah.
No, this is something that you will inevitably have happen to every friend group. It's just how it goes. Statistics show it.
Yeah.
Just be mature. You're going to see him at like a Super Bowl party, or I don't know why a Super Bowl party popped into my head. An engagement party more likely, or another wedding, and be mature. But you shouldn't, if you're the person who called in, you should not feel bad.
Right.
You shouldn't feel bad. You don't have to excommunicate someone just because there's a split. Especially if it was an amicable split. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to choose sides for that.
Right.
So there you go.
Totes agree, man.
I've been choosing a lot of Green Chef lately. I don't know about y'all.
Wow.
It's a CCOF certified meal kit company, as you guys are aware. They make eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences.
Is this the one that Will tucks up all the time?
I mean, Will and I love it.
Will, yeah,
he takes
Will,
pictures of it.
Will,
You know
loves
why
Green
Will
Chef.
loves it? Because out of any meal prep kit thing we've gotten, I can leave him alone with the instructions and like trust him to actually make a good meal. And I'm not saying Will's a bad I'm not saying Will is a bad cook. He can make specific things, but actually I think this like empowers him to cook and like feel like a chef and like feel like he's doing something versus just like following directions. Like the whole point of when we do Green Chef is to like cook it, make it look beautiful, it tastes great, and then you like plate it and he like feels really proud of himself. And
Okay.
honestly, that's what I love about it, because I can like throw that at him and be like, make it. And all the meals are like delicious.
That's what he says.
It's the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Green Chef has options for every lifestyle, like I said. But I mean, dude, look at this one. Mediterranean, I love that. I like that option.
All of their stuff too is like perfectly portioned, I would say, for 2 people. But if you're single, it's like a great situation to make a meal and then have a little bit of leftovers. We rarely have leftovers in our house because both of us eat like horses. Like
Y'all be
inhale
eating.
my food. Yeah, we be eating. But like I know that if Will was just making it by himself when I'm out of town this weekend, like he's gonna have a great post meal day lunch.
And like time-saving recipes packed with fresh produce and vibrant flavors gives you more opportunities to get outside and make the most of sunny days before summer's end. I know Will loves getting outside, especially with Rothy, going down to the boat dock, just kind of checking it out. It's something that he does, right? Seems like it is. It's sustainable. 100% of their seafood meets the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch rankings of certified best choice or good alternative. So how about that? How about that? Go to greenchef.com/mail135. Excuse me. greenchef.com/mail135 and use code mail135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes, and your first box ships free. How about that? That's greenchef.com/mail135 and use code mail135 to get $135 off. How about that?
It's a screaming deal.
It is.
Okay, next question, you guys. Hey, mail-in crew. I need some financial advice for dummies. For some background, I'm 26 years old, single, make a solid salary for my age, but can't seem to get my spending habits in line and saving habits in place. I'm frequently living paycheck to paycheck and have stacked up some decent-sized credit card debt. I'm beginning to feel like I'm well behind those around me, and it ramps up my anxiety when thinking about eventually achieving goals of engagement and home buying. I feel like I make too much money to be living this way. What are some tips for getting my finances in the right place without missing out on living my best life in my late 20s? Well,
I would imagine this would be one of the more relatable questions. You know, I mean, that's like the time when you don't know you don't know how to budget and
right. I feel like at 26, I did have a couple friends who were like in control of their shit, who were really smart and really not even smart. I would say more responsible than I was. Like we're saving and, not eating out as much, etc. And I just didn't give a shit about that. Like when I went to grad school, I did not have anything saved, like took out all of these student loans, and people around me had like saved up money and basically paid for all their grad school, like without having to take out a single loan, which is insane and good for them. And like looking back, do I wish I would have done that? Absolutely. But at the same time, I had to make some memories in my 20s, go to a shit ton of out of town weddings and bachelorette parties, etc. So like there's a trade-off. My one caveat here though, like this guy living paycheck to paycheck sounds like, that sounds really bad, but it's probably not that terrible in your 20s.
Very common.
But the credit card debt is where I'm like, oof, you got to get that shit under control.
Well, you're 26.
Because that can spiral quickly.
It can, but you're recognizing this at a young age, I think. A lot of people at that age aren't. It takes a lot of people to, their 30s before they start thinking seriously about that. So that's a positive sign that you're recognizing that maybe you have a slight problem, but it could snowball. You're getting out in front of it. Maybe look into a financial planner. I don't know. I didn't have a financial planner in my 20s, but it's somebody you can go talk to. I have a lot of, you can talk to them for free, and then maybe they'll, work something out afterward. But you're thinking about it, and that's good.
There are also some very helpful apps available.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to name one because
TrueBill.
TrueBill. Thank you, Dave, because I wanted to make sure one of them was not a competitor for one of our sponsors.
Yeah, TrueBill's helpful.
A lot of these will, like, you'll plug in all your financial information, your banking information, and it'll actually like alert you, like, hey, you've gone out, 5 nights this week. Maybe slow down on the entertainment budget.
It's not judgy, but it does. It is a reminder.
Yeah, it'll just send you like, hey, you have your restaurant
spent $1,000 more this month than you did last night on entertainment or something.
Yeah, and they're pretty helpful. They really are.
It's sometimes it's good to see a breakdown like that, because I know people who like go through their transactions at the end of the month and like they do it themselves. I'm not one of those people, but this sounds like an ad read. But like, again, TrueBill or something like it. It's helpful because, you get an email and sometimes you're like, oh God, I don't want to open that. Then you open it and you're like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I did spend $200 on Uber last month.
Yeah. I'm about 20 days into a 1 month long, like, I'm challenging myself to see how little I can put on my credit card this month.
That. Did that in June.
It's just a hard reset. Like, I'm eating lunches at home a lot. I haven't bought myself a pair of shoes or a shirt, or I haven't bought anything that I don't have to have. Gas, food, pretty much all I'm spending money on right now this month. And it's just like a hard reset. Like, okay, you can spend as little as this per month if you really put your mind to it.
Yeah.
And you're going to stretch it at some other months and have fun, and you're going to go on a trip or buy yourself, a new outfit or whatever. And that's going to happen. That's fine. Just a reminder, like, you can get by on this.
Yeah, I did that in June. I did no spend June.
Did you?
Like, caveat, I have a child, so I had to buy a lot of stuff for him. But here's the thing. I sometimes, especially financial stuff, can get really overwhelming. I was going to suggest this guy, and I think that there's some really good content out there on Instagram and TikTok about people who are like doing all these financial hacks about, like, if you open this credit card and you do this and that. That's great if you are really organized. But I think for a lot of people, that can be really overwhelming, especially at the age of 26, when somebody like, there's a couple like financial Instagrams that I follow or have been like suggested from people that I work with who are like, oh, I'm going to retire at the age of 50 and you should follow what this girl says. I'm like, that is really overwhelming. And if I was organized and had my shit together, I would probably do that, but I don't. I'm just trying to like live my life here. So I think first things first, just parse it back a little bit and like control the stuff you can control. So get out of credit card debt. That's not easy, but that's something that you can look at and be like, okay, I need to put $1,000 or $2,000 in towards my credit card bill every month, no matter what. So like make yourself a monthly budget, take out how much you're going to put towards your credit cards every month and your rent, etc. And then see how much you have left to spend. And then I would also, exactly what you're saying, Dillon, like, take a couple months to not spend anything if you can really avoid it.
Yeah.
And just at least get to the point where you have control on your finances at the very basic level of being out of debt and having a monthly budget, number 1 and 2. And then you can start, once you're out of debt, then you can start doing stuff like all of the shit of like opening a credit card to get this many points for travel and, putting this much into your HSA account that you can roll over into your retirement and blah, blah, blah. All of those like little tips and tricks that people do that I feel like can be helpful and really beneficial. But you have to start with basics first. And if you get all stressed out about like needing to save for a home and an engagement ring in your retirement at the age of 26 and you're in $20,000 worth of credit card debt, deal with the credit card debt first.
Yeah.
And then start saving for retirement. I'm sure that there are probably way smarter people than me who are going to say stuff like you should take out a low interest loan and blah, 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 and all of this other shit that I'm not going to suggest because I'm not a financial guru. But I'm telling you, the anxiety that you have is mostly having to do with the fact that you're overextending yourself. So tone it down a little bit. Tough love, but also the people around you, like there's always going to be the people around you who are way in control, have been thinking about this since they're 23, like have all this money saved. They're at one end. And then there's the people at the other end who are like going into major credit card debt, who are having to pull out from their 401k to pay shit off. You want to be in the middle of that spectrum. You don't want to be either side, you know?
Yeah.
So get yourself to the middle and then start working towards saving. But there's a lot of other like content, especially on Instagram, I feel like, of people who are financial advisors who give like daily little tips of how to save money, exactly what you're talking about, like apps, things like that. Cancel some of your subscription services, shit like that.
You know what I've always said? Like, if you're 25 to 30 and your main circle isn't frequently discussing stocks, real estate, opening businesses, committed relationships, and fitness, and is instead discussing getting high/drunk, one night stands, and the good old days, then it's time to elevate your circle.
I need to elevate my circle, apparently.
Saw you searching for this, and I was like, oh,
what are you talking about?
We were talking about that earlier.
No, hey, and stop comparing yourself to other people in your age. I mean, like, I know it's easy to say because I used to do that. You know, I would look around and I had extremely well-off friends who I was like, oh shit, they're crushing it. They definitely don't have credit card debt and student loans, but most people do.
Yeah, you don't know their true situations.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know it's easier said than done, but don't let it get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't live beyond your means. I mean, it just creates like a constant undertone of like financial anxiety, and it's no way to live.
That was me right after college.
If you can, I've been there
trying to keep up.
I've been there. It's not fun. It's like,
and sometimes you
just
have to say no to shit.
Yeah. Don't go on that boys trip if it's going to set you back too much money.
Even if it's Saturday.
No, it's going to suck.
Saturday.
It's not worth going broke over.
All right. Next question. What's up to my favorite internet redheads? I think he's only referring to me right now.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
A long time and not first time. My current apartment lease is ending at the end of the month, and my next lease at a new location doesn't start until August 10th. Thankfully, I'll be backpacking through Sequoia National Park for a week between then. This just leaves 3 nights of literal homelessness. Is it a trash move to just crash at the office? It's in a good area. There is basic cookware, and it eliminates my commute. I have a gym membership, so I can still work out, shower, and have another place to relax. My thinking is I can use the money I would use on a hotel and go out and explore the area more. Coincidentally, my office is across the street from my next apartment. I know this is a trash move, but it sounds like an adventure at the same time. What are your thoughts? Should I just spring for a cheap hotel instead?
I need to know the work situation, and if his coworkers or superiors would find out, is he keeping this a secret, or is he just gonna like? Are they okay with it? You know?
Yeah. To me, this sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. Like if I got here on Monday morning
Randy was like living here?
was like camped out, like what's going on here, buddy? Like at least
Didn't
run this
this
by
happen
us.
at Grand X?
Yes, it happened at Grand X. An intern, won't say his name,
was living there?
This is like before.
No, Will was there, I think.
Will
but it was early
there,
on.
but Will and I. This is early. We did not hire this guy.
He slept on the couch in the break room, ate the snacks that we provided in the office, and may or may not have filmed a CD video in my office while he was there.
I did not know about that part.
Is that true?
I got to work one morning and my office had been messed with. Clearly things were out of place. And I was like, what happened? What's going on here? And this kid was there and he was like, yeah, I was just I was filming something in here last night. Never saw the footage. Don't know what it was.
Oh, it wasn't CD. I know what video is talking about. It was just like a time lapse. It was not like an
amateur.
He wasn't
amateur porn?
He wasn't POVing on your desk.
I hope not. That kid.
What?
That kid was weird.
Okay. I think that even if this is kosher with your other coworkers and your superiors, which I highly doubt it would be, I don't think this is a good idea. I think
don't
you
either.
just have to pay for the hotel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, just pay for the hotel.
Like, do you have a friend you could stay with if you're really that concerned about the money? But like,
if you could swing it, stay at a hotel. I love staying at hotels. Just do that.
Yeah, you don't even have to ball. Just go stay
you
at
can
the...
go stay at one for $80 a night, and
you don't want to roll into your new. I don't know. It's just it sounds like this would be stressful, and no, that's just, you don't want that. I don't know.
I just think that the downsides of this are way more than the upsides. Like saving money so that you can go explore the new area versus the downside, like your boss finds out and gets really pissed at you and possibly fires you. Like, is that worth it?
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. I wouldn't do it. Unless you are the boss, then yeah, do it.
And the thing is, it sounds like it could be happening. He's probably in Sequoia National Park right now. So hopefully you got our advice.
Wish you could just extend his trip a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know? But I would stay in a hotel. I wouldn't do the office thing.
Can I say something? If you find yourself in this situation and you are an avid social media user, and let's say like you have to do like couch surfing for a day or two, don't do stories saying, "Oh man, homeless for the next 2 days." Literally, like you're not actually homeless. Like,
right. So
you know what I mean?
don't like.
You're gonna have a roof over your head.
There's people who do that that I follow, and I'm always like, yeah, the power went out at your building, and you had to like go stay at your friends or like at a hotel.
You want to see someone who's literally homeless?
Yeah, like I don't know.
Compare your life to theirs.
I know, and I don't mean to. I'm not. I know I'm on a pedestal right now, but it's just like, come on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sorry, woke Dave, being all fucking woke.
Dude, watch this becoming too woke.
You know I am. Speaking of
being woke.
Speaking of Dave, you know Dave's been wearing his Rothys to the gym.
Yeah, famously.
I'm a big Rothy's guy. I don't just wear them to the gym, but I do enjoy wearing them to the gym. Why? Because they're comfortable.
They're shockingly comfortable, David.
They're flat, and I can throw them in the washer if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Just throw them in there, then set them outside to dry. You ever been somewhere where wearing a colorful pair of flats and thought, dang, those are cute?
Hell
It might have been Rothy's, Sally. I don't know if you've thought of that.
I have thought of that.
I bet you have.
Saw some this past week. And I even thought, those are cute shoes.
Those are cute.
And then the person was like, they're Rothy's.
Yo, those are mad cute. That's what I always say when I see Rothy's in the wild.
Perfect shoes for commuting and traveling. Everyone notices them. They're known for their chic pointed toe flats, but that's just the beginning. They have tons of iconic head-turning designs in bright but sophisticated colors. Sally can probably talk more about those.
Yeah, but you know what I am going to talk about?
Please.
That they're machine washable.
It's fantastic.
That actually
underrated.
means so much to me because I have like crap all over my shoes all the time. I feel like I'm not literal crap, but like walking around with a kid, like he's smearing stuff. Like you want to be able to wash your shoes.
Yes.
So that they stay colorful or bright white.
Yes. Your child will spill on your brand new shoes often.
On your driving loafers.
On your driving loafers or on your Rothys. And if it's on the Rothys, just throw them in the wash. It's that easy. Rothy's takes sustainability to the next level. All their products are knit with thread made from plastic water bottles. They've repurposed around 125 million water bottles so far. How about that?
Wow.
That's pretty wild. Didn't even know that was possible. Comfortable, washable, stylistic, fantastic. Your new favorite shoes are waiting. Discover the versatile styles you can wear absolutely anywhere and get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/mail. That's ROTHYS.com/mail for $20 off your first order.
All right.
We got one more.
Last question.
Let's go.
Hey, Brett and Sally, or Dillon, Dave, and Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Double D is what they call us when we're together.
Double D and Sally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a little bit of a tough spot where I don't exactly know how to divide my time up among the people in my life. Family, friends, boyfriend. I feel like everyone is pulling on my arms for my time when there just isn't enough to go around. I work full time. I'm starting back school full time starting in August to become a teacher. So I already have barely enough time for myself. As bad as it sounds, how do I tell people that I just don't have time for them sometimes? I genuinely love everyone in my life right now and don't want to become too busy that I lose any of them. Appreciate any advice you can give. Love the pod. Keep doing what you're doing. I went through this myself. Basically, like my entire the end of my 20s, like while Will and I first started dating, because I was working a ton and Will was living in Austin and I was living in Houston. So I would have to kind of go back and forth to be able to like maintain my relationship with him and go to work. And especially working 12-hour shifts and stuff, it's not like I could leave and go have a drink with somebody or something at the end of the day, you know? So I felt very much like I was giving up on like seeing my family or my friends in order to like, you know, have a relationship with Will, which was like in the very early stages. Um, and then that, as I finally got a grasp on that, I went back to school, which was really difficult to try to like balance my time because I was really stressed out about studying enough and doing well in school and then seeing my family and friends and Will and being in a different city. It made it pretty complicated. Um, and this is one of those things that I think just took some growing up, some maturity of being like, I'm going to have to say no to this bachelorette party. Sorry. And like maybe Will's going to have to come to me this weekend instead of me driving back to go see him because I just don't have time. So I think the biggest thing here is just creating boundaries for yourself and for your family and friends. And that if people want to see you, sometimes they're going to have to do something that's convenient for you. And that makes it sound like you're being really selfish, but sometimes, especially when you're trying to better yourself by like going to school or you are, working a lot because you have a promotion coming up or you're just trying to like focus your time on specific things that are important to you, other people are going to have to make do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I also think that it's okay to like explain that to people, be like, hey, I have a really busy year because of school. Like, I really want to see you. Let's carve out some time. Even if it like I did this with friends like literally 3 months in advance. Would be like, hey, I'm coming back to Houston. Let's get some dinner, but it's not
I
going
was
to be
gonna
till
say
December.
like plant a seed early and
Yeah.
being like, look, this year is gonna be nuts for me.
Yeah.
Like in the fall time, I might disappear. I might become a hermit for 3, 4, 5 months, and that's just because that's what I have to do.
Right.
I mean, it's working at school. It's not like you're, off just like,
Traveling the world.
yeah,
And
you're not
ignoring
like,
people.
yeah, you're not just like going off on your own, doing your own thing. Like this is important stuff that you absolutely have to carve out a lot, like significant time for. And
Yeah.
they'll be understanding of that, especially if you're like super upfront about it.
This was the hardest part of law school for me
Yeah.
because I had to just, in addition to being in a different town, but I missed a ton of stuff, and I am the type. I still am the type of person like I will try to go to everything I'm
Yep.
invited to. Like I love being social and going and doing stuff, but you can't do that in law school. Like you can't travel like you used to. You're always studying. You can't go out for drinks like you used to. And like honestly, like you're better for it. You're better for it. You realize when you have to do something like that, you're like, dude, I was going hard for so long, and like
Mhm.
finally like took a step back and took a break from that, and I don't know.
I feel like my friends, when I went back to grad school, my friends who had already been in grad school, especially my friends who've been to law school, probably understood the most because they'd already done it themselves. So they'd be like, when you're available, let me know. Another thing I would say that was a tip for me is like do stuff that's like killing two birds with one stone. Like I would already be like going to work out. So I'd be like, hey, let's go on a walk so that like we can catch up
Yeah.
and I'm like having physical activity. Or like, especially your significant other and your family are probably going to understand the most. So there would be times where like Will and I were spending time together, but like I was studying and he was doing work.
Yeah.
And like, as much as that sucks, it'd be like, okay, we're going to like knock out 2 hours of like actual stuff. And then we can like watch a movie to wind down for the night. So little things like that still make a difference. Another thing is like fire up the group text. That's how you keep in touch with people. Like it's okay that might be your only communication with these people for 5 months. If they're true friends, family, good boyfriend, they're going to understand that like your time is very focused right now. And if people get butthurt about you trying to better yourself in your career, then like, do you really need them in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like,
What does LeBron do during the season?
Oh,
he goes dark
mode.
Dark mode. He goes dark mode on
He
you.
tells you about it too.
Yeah. Is like before, like leading up to the playoffs, he'll go into like dark mode.
Yeah.
He's off the grid. He's off social media.
Similar
He's
to
just like
sicko mode.
he's so focused on like basketball that he blocks everything out of his life. And he's maybe you just post like a black square on
Correct.
Instagram and like just hashtag dark mode.
Hey man,
Oh,
like you guys
shit.
aren't gonna hear from me for the next.
Shit. Dave's in like seriously grinding right now.
Could be
Leave
2
him
weeks.
alone.
Could be a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go dark mode.
Yeah. Or sicko.
Or
which is what-
sicko
this is
mode.
what
Don't
Dave-
go goblin.
Oh,
Be careful.
yeah.
But I mean, I think this is something people deal with, especially in their 20s when you're dealing with stuff
Yeah.
like this, when it's like your first job or grad school or
Yeah.
things like that.
I don't quite relate on the level that you two do, law school and then, you know,
Anesthesia school.
yeah, I didn't know what to call it exactly, but thank you. Yeah, that requires much more intense.
Well, and I feel
studying.
like this is harder when you're 20s because you come out of college with like, and like come out of high school and college with a ton of friends that you're probably still close to your high school friends, definitely still close with your college friends. You have like probably the most friends you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And you feel like you have to maintain all these
And
relationships.
they're off having so much fun.
Yeah. And then you have to realize like sometimes I think that was the biggest lesson in my 20s, like relationships change and there are always going to be places for my friends in my life. But some of my friendships that I was really close with in college when we were like living every day together are going to change their nature. And that's okay to accept that. Like we were recently back in Houston. The people that I was closest with in my 20s, when I lived in Houston, I saw them every day, talked to them every day. That changed because I went to grad school and then moved to Austin and like we have kids. It's hard to keep up with them every day. But I recently saw them. We all went back for the meetup and it's like your true friends are going to be there for you no matter what. And even if it's like catching up, I feel like my true friends, it was like we just caught up exactly where we left off. There was no like, oh, you never like call me. It's like, well, yeah, because we like are living our lives. Everyone that I saw, like we all understand that we have shit going on. You just get the time that you can, you know?
Yeah.
That's just being an adult.
Dylan and I have a mutual friend from college who, when he went to law school, no one heard or saw him for 3 years. Like maybe one person at like a wedding or something he had to go to. He didn't return calls, I mean, he went literally off the grid for 3 years and came out on the other side valedictorian of his class. But I was still strips.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good for
He
him.
went, I mean, he disappeared.
You went dark mode.
He's somebody like, yeah, who everybody used to talk to and it was like, dude, what? He just 3 years. Not an
Yeesh.
exaggeration. Pretty wild, but you can do it. And don't feel bad for doing it. You need to do it. Shower thoughts.
Do you have a shower thought?
Do I have a shower thought? Yes, I've got a shower thought. You ever be taking a probiotic? Stop me if you've heard this before. And, you know, you pop it open and you look at it and put it in your mouth and you realize, damn, there's billions of little active cultures, things of that nature inside my stomach. There's billions of little live organisms inside of in this little capsule. That's crazy, yo.
A Billy?
There's a billion in the capsule, but there's like billions and billions in your gut.
Even more wild. The shower just got crazy.
Damn. Let's turn the steam up a little bit.
Damn. I took an early bird before this shower.
I shared a shower thought a few weeks ago on Circling Back. It was kind of an impromptu situation, but I'm going to assume that the people listening now were not listening then. It's a different podcast. And mine was about license plate borders from dealerships and how so many morons are just driving around like giving a dealership free advertising because they put it on and you didn't think it was okay to take it off yourself.
I think that I have a license plate border on mine.
Yeah,
he was
you
talking
probably
about
do.
that.
And you're just giving them free advertising for what?
Well, like, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously people know that I got my car at the type of car I have in Austin, most likely.
So
Why do you need to advertise that?
I don't know, because I'm too lazy to take it off myself.
Right. And they're banking on everyone just being too lazy or not knowing that it's okay to just
Do you
take
think
it
that
off.
you can ask them when they put your license plates on, be like, don't put the border on?
Of course you can. And to take it a step further, some dealerships Ooh, some dealerships will put their
the little
emblem
silver emblem
on the paint.
Oh, that makes me in fear.
And that is not as simple as like screwing it off and putting the license plate
Yeah.
back on. That you have to like peel it off, and then you have to
Did
get.
this happen to you specifically?
Every time I see it on a car, I think about like, what are you doing?
There's a number. I can tell you this as a Dallas guy. There are people who buy their vehicles from Park Cities Chevrolet or Park Cities Volvo, and they like to leave it on, so it puts out the vibe that they're from the Park Cities. Park Cities being like the very, very exclusive parts of Dallas.
This
and
is
that's a real thing. It's a status symbol.
When you get your car from a dealership and they put the emblem on the paint, or they put the license plate border with their phone number on your car, say, if you want to pay me to advertise for you, I'm happy to talk numbers with you. If not, please take it off. They're going to take it off.
Wow.
There's a dealership around Austin called Sewell.
It's also in Dallas. Yeah.
Sewell's a big one.
Sewell. And they put their big block letters right on the paint. I see so many cars around town with Sewell. I'm just like, man, it looks dumb. And you're giving them free advertising. And it really
I don't think this is a shower thought so much as like Dillon's gripe shower.
This is the steam room.
I've thought about it in the shower.
He's turning it into the steam room.
He's taking a steam shower.
That's exactly what's happening.
Do you know what my shower thought was? I thought about this the other day because I was talking about, obviously, I bought lottery tickets for the 1.1 or whatever $1 billion jackpot. I would say, and I know other people do this, but like my toxic trait is that I just think that I'm going to win. Like, obviously, it's like a 1 in 300 million chance or whatever it was, 350 million, like something so insanely tiny. And like, I will buy 10 lottery tickets and be like, one of these is a winner. The odds are astronomically against me, and I will spend that money in my head.
So,
but like, and not even like what normal people do, where they're like, oh, like I'm gonna get a private jet.
What's the first thing you would spend money on? All the practical stuff like student loans, whatever. Let's not include that. What's the first fun purchase you'd make?
We talked about this because, again, I was very confident that I was going to win.
You didn't, for the record, right?
I did not.
Okay.
Unfortunately. The first thing that I would buy, it would be a insanely ballin' house on the lake in Austin and an insanely ballin' house on Lake Michigan in Harbor Springs. Double barrel houses.
Insanely ballin'.
Insanely baller.
That is a good response.
If let's say you took home 700 mil, would you break your friends off a mil like here and then? Yeah, you're good.
Dude,
we've also talked about this. You make a foundation and then you put people on payroll. But I'm not like just passing out money.
I think I am.
I would pass Dave a brick.
I would
like,
feel.
Hey, you've been a good pal.
If I won, I would definitely. I would not quit the show.
If I won, I would buy Watch Media for like an insane amount and give y'all payout, and then y'all would still be recording.
We put you on the board for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be the CEO.
We'd make you CEO.
But okay, another toxic trait of mine regarding the lottery is: do you ever think like you're like, okay, 1.1 billion after taxes, that's 650 million. That's enough. But like, there's times where I'm like, 10 million, like after taxes, like that's barely anything.
Yeah.
That's fucked up to think. Like any amount of money at this point, even $10 for me, I'm sorry, I'm like, I believe would be great.
The person who won, I think they actually got to take home like less than 5. It's like 440 something million. We were talking about this earlier.
Wow. Not enough.
How much are the lottery tickets? Is it with
it's $2 a ticket.
If you do the there's like an extra ball thing,
the Powerball.
Yeah, I guess that's the Powerball. Okay. For me, spending $4 or $6, like 3's my number I'll go with. It's worth it if I buy it early in the week just to have that entire week thinking about this kind of stuff because it's fun. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
And it keeps your mind off other stuff. So I'm sure that goes both ways, but like the part of the fun of the lottery is thinking about all the stuff you would do.
It wasn't fun for me because I didn't buy a ticket.
Wow. You could have won.
I went the night of the.
We went the night of too.
Yeah, and it was a madhouse in that gas station. But.
Well, weirdly, because I was like, it's also like the camaraderie thing because you're like, well, shit. What if one of my friends wins and I didn't get a ticket? Like
exactly.
That's the whole office pool thing. You're like, if I'm not part of the office pool and they win, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah. What if you're sick that day and like everyone in your office wins like $17 million and you didn't. Like
That happened to Daryl in The Office because the warehouse won the lottery collectively, but he was upstairs being a manager,
I don't
and he
remember that
didn't get to be part of it. Yeah, I mean, there's always the next time. But I only buy, like everyone else, buy tickets once it's like after a certain, I think it's got to be like 200 million minimum for me to start buying.
Man, it's sneaky attacks on the poor. Just saying. The numbers show that. But
wow. How about that?
Just saying, lottery may not be that great. But here I am spending the entire week thinking about, all right, how much is Dillon getting? I got to give Will the same amount because, Dillon will get mad. Randy, I'm definitely buying Randy a couple frozen pina coladas.
He's just getting a frozen
That's
pina,
it.
like nothing else.
Free frozen pina coladas for life for Randy.
Wow.
It's pretty dope.
Wow.
Pretty dope. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Parks is giving me sad face outside the studio.
Well, I think
Let's
that
ride.
should be our
all right.
Our last shower thought. Make sure you subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the podcast. Hit the hotline at 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245, or write in at the link in the Twitter bio. Boys, it's been a pleasure. I'm not even going to hype your Instagrams. People know where to find you.
Oh, yeah.
They better
We're
follow
pretty
us.
big.
Yeah. That's how I talk.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.